transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Oh, yeah. A Friday edition of the program. 5 o'clock, a little after 4 on a Friday. 2 big hours coming away. The first 2 breathe. It's 2 hours on the radio. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. 93.9 FM. You can check us out right now down the FM dial at 107.9 FM. Depending on where you might be located in the metro area, one signal may come in better than the other. 93.9, 107.9. We're also on 600 AM. That little AM signal travels from like Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida, North Shore. Check it out. We're on YouTube, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel, 4 to 6 o'clock weekdays, 2 big hours. The first 90 minutes of our YouTube broadcast of our 2-hour radio talk program, the first 90 minutes simulcast on television. We're on Cox Channel 4 TV right now till 5:30. New Orleans, Metro Baton Rouge, Metro Lafayette, Cox Channel 4. We're also on the charter system. That would be Spectrum Channel 333. Spectrum Channel 333 in places like Slidell, Covington, Mandeville, that's Cheyenne country, Hammond, Strawberry country, Houma, Thibodaux, Opelousas, all over the state. The 4 o'clock hour on this Friday afternoon, post-terrorist attack Friday afternoon. Brought to you by Leidenheimer Baking Company, part of New Orleans since the late 1800s. Part of the fabric of this city since the late 1800s. Everybody I know, I can't think of a single human being in Metro New Orleans that hasn't had Leidenheimer French bread. Leidenheimer French bread, it's been around literally our entire lives. And before we were ever walking around, I mean, Leidenheimer was around for 60, 70 years before I was ever walking around. Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants for generations. Chances are, if you're enjoying an authentic New Orleans po' boy, enjoying it, it's really good to great. It's on Leidenheimer French bread. The French bread of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread. Leidenheimer Baking Company. 4 o'clock hour. Brought to you by Leidenheimer Baking Company. Coming up in a few minutes. He's been on top of this story. Got to give it to this guy. He's excellent at what he does. Excellent at what he does. Passionate, knowledgeable, gives opinions. Talking about Fletcher Mackel, sports director, sports reporter, anchor, blogger. Joins me on this program Fridays with Fletch every Friday afternoon for a few minutes. But when the you-know-what is hitting the fan, could be a hurricane, BP oil disaster, whatever, whenever, Fletcher Mackel just switches flips the switch from sports to news and goes out and does some great reporting like during the terrorist attack, post-terrorist attack, the last 48 hours or so. Fletcher's going to join us in 10 minutes. We'll find out everything he's been doing, what he's been reporting on, any new information. Coming up in about 25 minutes, right after 4:30, taking us all the way till 5 p.m., Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. is going to join us. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. Just some general thoughts, comments, opinions on this terrorist attack in New Orleans. First off, as far as New Orleans is concerned, the city of New Orleans, law enforcement, city government, really doing nothing wrong. I mean, you want to get hypercritical? Making the Super Bowl, I mean, it's such a catch-22. The Super Bowl, X amount of days out. Jeff Landry, let's get a task force to get the city ready for the Super Bowl. Without that, there would have been no flame lit under the city of New Orleans' rear end. There wouldn't have been someone organizing it like Michael Hecht. There wouldn't have been the tens of millions of dollars, probably north of $100 million spent, and getting it done efficiently, staying on top of it. But I would think, generally speaking, looking back, Monday quarterback, and I'm going to tell you I'm Monday quarterbacking on this right now. Any other city would have had all this done months ago. Like the deadline shouldn't have been the Super Bowl. There should have been some September 1st deadline, October 1st deadline to get all this Super Bowl stuff done. Not painting the railings, the morning of the game, finishing up the final things. So you want to be hypercritical. You want to play Monday quarterback in a fair fashion, sort of dysfunctional New Orleans, even trying to do it right. We probably should have had all this done before Bayou Classic, before New Orleans Bowl, before the Sugar Bowl, much less another month away to the Super Bowl. So that would be like the only thing you could really be fairly objectively critical on the city of New Orleans. Otherwise, I think the city did absolutely nothing wrong. The city of New Orleans was prepared just fine. Obviously, after this terrorist attack, certain entrances to places like the French Quarter are going to be hardened. It's a different ball game now. And like I said, it's easy to Monday quarterback. But I would say thank God for University Hospital, Charity Hospital, a Trauma One medical center. Unlike a regular hospital with an emergency room, this is an emergency room on steroids. Like at 3 a.m, these folks are ready to go. From arriving at the hospital to in the operating room, working on patients within minutes. Lives were saved because of Charity Hospital and their staff there at 3 a.m. The NOPD, law enforcement in general, running towards the terror. That video of the law enforcement on the corner, all of them, about a dozen, just running right into the situation. Police were everywhere. Great job by law enforcement, NOPD, state police, wildlife, fisheries, everybody who was there. Jefferson Parish. Now, when we come back, going to talk with Fletcher Mackel, and Michael Hecht. We'll probably do it actually more in the 5 o'clock hour. But this Monday quarterbacking on these bollards, we'll talk about that. And I don't think the city was at fault. Could have repaired them before this instead of before the Super Bowl. I can promise you this. For the Super Bowl, there weren't going to be any bollards on the sidewalk on either side of the existing ones. Now there will be, so a vehicle can't ride up on the sidewalk. Even if those bollards were in place, I think 90% of what this idiot Jabbar did would have taken place. Would have just simply have to gone over the sidewalk at Bourbon and Iberville, a block in off Canal Street. That would have been the only thing that slowed him down. But we'll talk about that. A lot of folks Monday quarterbacking, city wasn't prepared, being critical of law enforcement, bollards, don't even understand why they were put in place. Are they a terrorist, some kind of hardened terrorist type deflection system, or is it more to keep vehicles off of Bourbon, making it a pedestrian mall? I mean, we can go on and on and on about this, and we will. We'll talk about it, but I think the city did a great job. I think Jeff Landry has done a great job leading as governor during this entire thing, which was much needed because LaToya Cantrell is just sort of not prepared for these types of things, and just that kind of slow rhetoric, kind of the same kind of talk, not genuine, sort of just trying to pretend to be a leader doesn't work. I think Jeff Landry's done a pretty good job of leadership. I think he's said some things that aren't right. But overall, I think New Orleans and Louisiana's done the best they can do, and none of this is our fault. Fletcher Mackel next.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home. Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades. On Jefferson Highway, across from Auction, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint, Benjamin Moore, led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on this Friday afternoon. Post-terror attack Friday afternoon. You got to be impressed with this guy. Look, news stations all around the country will pull people out of their sports department, and you're like, okay, let's cut this guy some slack doing this report because he's a sports guy. Let's just try to learn about the fire downtown at the building or whatever happened. Fletcher goes into the news mode, and there's no, hey, let's cut this guy slack. He's a sports guy. Fletcher goes into the news mode, especially when the you-know-what's hitting the fan, Katrina, BP oil disaster, whatever it might be. And you think he's some seasoned news veteran that's doing this all the time. And I mean, like, any Market USA type of stuff. Fletch, that's about as good as you'll ever get it from me, but fantastic job during crappy times in the city the last 36, 48 hours.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was definitely a crazy few days. And, they called like all hands on deck. So I was out there like at 4:30 in the morning. So, yeah, crazy.
Literally like an hour or so after the situation went down?
Yeah, so, they found they weren't sure what it was. Like everybody, it's breaking news, and they knew something tragic had happened on Bourbon Street. You remember we had the Endymion, those were drunk driver incidences that happened on Orleans and then on Esplanade,
yep.
I think 2017 and 19. So they weren't sure, but they knew it was sadly and tragically like a mass casualty event on Bourbon Street. So, my bosses were on their way in, and they just started calling everybody like, hey, it's all hands on deck. This is going to be something, serious and extreme. And they said some people, obviously, it was New Year's morning at 3:30, 4 a.m., whatever it was. So I don't think everybody was answering their phones. So I just happened to answer my phone, and it was called in.
And when did you get down to Channel 6?
I got there at about a little before 5, and then I was on the air by about 5:15 or 5:20 on Bourbon Street.
Wow. And what was going on at 5:20, about 2 hours after the incident on Bourbon Street when you were reporting?
Well, what I didn't realize, and we're showing the video of it right now, is so we had a crew at Canal in Bourbon, obviously where everything started and unfolded. So the photographer, the photojournalist that I was with, I said, you know what, let's get on the interstate, let's get off at Esplanade, let's go in the back way and just see how far down we can go and just hit it from another angle, like just to shoot the opposite angle. There's no point in two people going to the same spot. And I don't know, we were sending a crew to UMC, we were sending a second crew to Canal. It was just send everybody there. So I said, let's just go in, that back way. And we got all the way to St. Anne in Bourbon. And then we walked up to Orleans in Bourbon. And we were set up there for like 90 minutes. And then a state trooper noticed like an ice chest. And when he looked in it, he goes, he was like, look, get away. I'm like, what? He goes, I think I found bombs. This is suspicious. And I'm like, I'm sorry, like what? And this is before we really knew what was unfolding, And so I was right there when they found, and we've been showing it today, like the video of the ice chest where they found the IEDs, and so we were set up there all morning, and I was there when they detonated both of those IEDs that the suspect brought to the French Quarter.
Yeah, I saw you doing a report live, and one went off about a block behind you, it sounded like.
Yeah, well, that's because they moved us. It was about a half a block away. They cleared us out. We went to Dauphine, almost to Dauphine. They got us off of Bourbon. They made the perimeter a little bit wider, and when they called in the special operations truck, and then they self-detonated those IEDs. And now we're learning today that the FBI is saying that it was some exotic type of bomb-making material never before used. And I'm like, whoa, didn't realize I was quite so close to that.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I guess from the search of his Houston house or whatever, right?
Yeah. Crazy stuff now.
Now, Fletch, how close did you? What? First off, about 2.5 blocks off Canal, right? By the Royal Sonesta, about 2.5 blocks. How close did you get to ground zero of that?
I didn't get that close to the ground zero. The closest I got, so I was Bourbon in Orleans, right by Tropical Isle, with the St. Louis Cathedral, right.
Yeah. Center of the quarter, directly in between Canal and Esplanade.
So that's as close as we could get. And basically, we were shooting down Bourbon, showing how the quarter was basically blocked off. And then when they found those IEDs, they said stay there. And then obviously when they detonated them, it was absolutely don't continue to follow that, because then they brought in, FBI forensics teams, and it became a massive scene there. So that's basically, I got there, and because there were things happening there, we never left that location until 4 p.m. that afternoon.
And how many live drops did you do? A couple an hour?
Oh, yeah. 3 to 5 an hour.
So you're talking you did about 30 or 40 live drops from that location, maybe 50.
Probably so, yeah. I mean, we got there at 5:15, and they didn't relieve us with another crew till about 4 o'clock, a little before 4 o'clock.
What were the big stories that you dropped, out of those 2 or 3 big things you'd say over those few dozen reports?
I mean, there was one. I mean, we were on TV when you heard the fire in the hole, and it sounded like a loud firecracker, which ended up being one of the IEDs being detonated. So that was kind of and again, the sad thing is I kept saying that in the reports is, it felt like a bad movie or a TV show, because it was a beautiful day, and you've got this, the most iconic building in New Orleans is the St. Louis Cathedral. So you see the St. Louis Cathedral, and then in the foreground, you see 3 blocks of crime scene tape and FBI and law enforcement officers everywhere. So it was just kind of hard to wrap your head around. Beautiful day in the French Quarter. There's the St. Louis Cathedral, but right in the foreground is a dozen FBI agents and 3 blocks worth of crime scene tape as you look at that. So we kind of stayed there because that visual says 1,000 words.
How late did you work on Wednesday?
So Wednesday I got off at about 5. My brother worked longer than me. He was on the anchor desk from 5 a.m. until 7 p.m.
Wow.
But yeah, that one was, because I live on the bayou, so I went out to the bayou with some friends and maybe had a glass or 2 of champagne at midnight, and went to bed at about 1:30. And at 4:30 I wake up and then did about whatever it is, 11-hour day, 12-hour day. I came home, went to bed, and then yesterday
Sugar Bowl
covered the Sugar Bowl and everything.
Yep.
Since that game was obviously a news story in and of itself.
You and your brother together at the Sugar Bowl, on the field, outside the dome, all of it.
Yeah. We were in. Well, I mean, look, that was a huge story of this. I mean, it wasn't the story, obviously, the tragedy and what happened and the details about that. But the Sugar Bowl, the first time in the 91-year history, the Sugar Bowl had ever been postponed or delayed. 2005, during Katrina, it was relocated because the dome was decimated during the storm and under construction. But the Sugar Bowl had never been postponed or delayed until this year because of those tragic situation. So that became a story in and of itself. The fact that they were going to play it, and then the politicians there, the city leaders, the civic leaders there. So Travers and I were in the dome interviewing a lot of the people, Governor Landry, Walt Leger with, the Tourism New Orleans and Company, on top of, a dozen other people who were coming through there. We talked to Dr. Peter W. because he's with the Sugar Bowl. He's the physician for the Sugar Bowl,
yep.
But he's the chief physician for UMC.
Yep.
So he could give us perspective on the lives they were able to save, which was fascinating to me, because he talked about how if 14 people is way too many, and it's tragic and horrific. But had UMC not been one of the best trauma centers in the country,
yep.
and the only trauma center of its kind in Louisiana, he said there could have been more loss of life. He goes, what he pointed out to us is that at that trauma center, these doctors are, basically they're trained for triage to deal with emergency surgeries immediately. And he goes, at UMC, if you are in a life-threatening situation, you are on the operating table within 5 minutes. He goes, other community hospitals, nothing against them because they're wonderful, but if you show up at their emergency room, they wouldn't be able to do that at 9 a.m., 2 p.m. or 5 p.m., let alone 3 a.m. in the morning. So he talked about how, both police officers who were shot were, treated immediately, and they were able to prevent more loss of life.
Yeah, no, that I saw that segment. That was a good segment. Just kind of, exactly that. They could go surgery right away. I thought that was great right before that segment, it's just, you guys were live. Your brother's like, hey, Kirby Smart just gave us a thumbs up.
Right.
Just like,
yeah.
Good job, pro New Orleans, that kind of stuff. No, those were great reports, Fletch. Excellent stuff. Same to your brother in Channel 6, man. Y'all did some great stuff for hours and hours, just nonstop. Anyway, Fletch, have a good New Year. No sports today. Just wanted to talk about that. And we'll visit next week.
Well, next week, maybe we'll be talking about the Saints coaching search.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. And that kind of stuff. Sports, Tulane, LSU, Pels. Fletch, thank you.
All right, Corey.
That's Fletcher Mackel. Fridays with Fletch. Corey Johnson with you. Hey, when we come back, Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. is going to take us. We'll have one break in the middle of it, but we'll go straight till 5 o'clock, essentially, with Michael Hecht next.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
You know what's great about Total Maintenance, besides being honest air conditioning and heating experts that come right when you need them? Over the holiday, if you needed them on Christmas Day, if you needed them on New Year's Eve, middle of the night, they're there for you. Weekday, weekend, overnight, holiday, Total Maintenance is there. Honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately in New Orleans, in Baton Rouge. If you need heat or air conditioning help, think Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com. TM-AC.com. That's Total Maintenance. Make sure the heat's working next week. 30s and 40s. All next week in New Orleans. 30s and 40s. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. joins us on the program on this Friday. I'm glad he's with us. A little clarity and common sense and not pulling the Monday quarterback gimmick that so many people seem to do and actually think they have valid, logical conclusions. Michael, how are you?
I'm doing all right, Corey. Wasn't a good feeling to get I was actually in Copenhagen, and when I got a phone call from the governor's office at 11 in the morning, New Year's Day in Copenhagen, I knew it wasn't a good call because I could do the math on what time that was back here. So rushed back, and I think all considering, people are doing pretty well right now.
Michael, let's get a few things clear and agree with me, disagree, straighten me out, whatever. I want to hear it from you. Your thoughts and opinions. First off, New Orleans did absolutely nothing wrong, including the bollards and all of this stuff. So much Monday morning quarterbacking. First off, this could happen anywhere, anytime, wherever there's a crowd, in any city, concert line, some lame city that doesn't have festivals and they got a concert at their arena and there's 1,000 people outside. So what are your thoughts generally about that comment?
I think the main thing is that if you talk to any terrorism expert or anybody that's done this kind of thing, if there is somebody who is willing to die in order to hurt other people, it's virtually impossible to stop them. It's just the harsh reality of it. And so, the Monday morning quarterbacking, I don't think is, we can always do better. But I don't think it's particularly helpful in the immediate. It just comes across as defensive. And, there's a balance, we don't want to live in a police state. There are risks that go along with freedom. And so this was fundamentally, and I think is being received as an attack on America. And New Orleans was just the convenient symbol of that, because we represent humanity and culture and intimacy. And when you see the people who tragically were killed in this event, they represent a real cross-section of America. So, no, I mean, it's we've seen this around the world, and it's damn hard to stop, unfortunately.
And also, Houston, like most cities, just a city, New Orleans is a special place that we celebrate New Year. People come here like they're going to New York or some other, European type city. It's only a few that do it like us in America. So people were here. He could have stayed at Houston if there was some big crowd somewhere. He knew there would be a big crowd on Bourbon Street. So, yeah, like you said, Michael, somebody wants to die, willing to die. It's hard to stop them. Hey, the bollards, I know about the, anti-terrorist measures, all that. The way I look at the bollards as a New Orleanian, first off, they're there so someone just doesn't get out of their car and move the police barricade and proceed down Bourbon Street. Not to run over people, just to drive to wherever they want to go on Bourbon Street when they shouldn't be driving on Bourbon Street. So I think, first and foremost, that's what the bollards are for, to keep vehicular traffic off of Bourbon Street. With that said, if they're anti-terrorist proof, there weren't bollards ever on the sidewalks, Michael, and a vehicle can fit down either sidewalk. So even if they were working, the vehicle could have gone around. So with all that said, live and learn. I think there'll be bollards now, like one bollard in the middle of the sidewalk on either side of those streets, Canal Street at Bourbon, Canal at Iberville. But I think people looking at like the bollards supposed to be like it's a federal building and nothing was supposed to get through, and the city did something wrong when they had an SUV parked where the bollard would be, and the guy went around it and went around the bollard that was there anyway. I think all that's just Monday quarterbacking it again, kind of trying to blame New Orleans for something that really isn't accurate. They're not to blame, the city.
Yeah, no, I think that there's, I was talking to a reporter from CNN, and she asked me off record, she said, she was picking up that people would have been reacting to and felt differently about this if this had been a mass shooting or something that was locally kind of generated, grounded. And the fact that it was somebody not from here attacking America, basically a terrorist attack, ISIS inspired, people are reacting differently. It just, it's, we're so, people here are I think, tired of getting blamed for things, like getting blamed for Katrina. And I think that there is, excuse me, there was a, I don't know, people are reacting differently because this was clearly not something that came from and was of, and frankly was the fault of New Orleans.
The only thing I could say, Michael, playing Monday quarterback, and I'm playing Monday quarterback, I didn't think about this while it was going down. I only thought it was a positive. First off, we needed the governor to get this Super Bowl, prep thing together, these 500 plus, bullet points or whatever you want to call them that, that we needed to improve on. And it was smart that he got you to head it up, someone who's competent with a proven track record, who's organized, that's going to see it through correctly, that's not lining his pockets with money from this, like some appointed political hack in New Orleans or Louisiana. So I think all of that was great. I was part of it with you. I'm honored to be a part of it. I think it was a brilliant plan. We needed a sense of urgency, all of that. Looking back now, maybe we should have had November 15th as the deadline or December 1st. So it would have been ready for Bayou Classic Sugar Bowl. But again, that's just Monday quarterback, and the Super Bowl is in a month, and that's what we kind of made as the deadline. Should we have started earlier? Would other cities hosting a Super Bowl have all these things we're doing right now, finishing up, done 6 months ago?
Yeah, I mean, the reason that I got dropped into this, Corey, we know is because we should have started this stuff 3 years ago and it hadn't gotten started.
Wow.
So, the repaving of the French Quarter shouldn't be happening right now either, right?
Yeah.
It's just kind of, had the governor not gotten involved and this stuff gotten the hot foot on it, then a ton of stuff would not be done right now. So it kind of was simply a better late than never type of situation. And I'm proud, happy, and honored to be part of trying to get it done.
No, I love your truthfulness. No, it's true. John Bell Edwards probably should have been doing what Jeff Landry was doing. And I'm not playing Democrat, Republican crap. Should have said, let's get a Michael Hecht and get on this. And it should have been like a year ago. And yeah, the mayor and the city and the council, they weren't even thinking about it. So yeah, better late than never. All right, Michael, if you want a positive about us being a little late to the game, that construction work on Bourbon, that big, cherry picker type thing that stopped the truck. If everything would have been done and we would have been super efficient, hyper efficient city, he might have continued on for blocks and there were dozens.
I'll give you more than that. I think the truck was doing some repair work on Rick's. So for all you people that want to get rid of the nudie clubs,
that's me.
They save lives.
He's fixing the neon sign at Rick's, but no, slammed into that thing, and that stopped the truck. About 2.5 blocks into the quarter. Could have been a lot worse. It's amazing how fast that idiot was going too.
Yeah, no, it's things just can change so quickly. It's just it's really jarring, and you just got to give a lot of credit to all the officers that ran towards it. And we're going to get through this, and we're going to learn to be a little bit better. And the next Black Swan event's going to happen. I mean, when people were asking me, and I think even you, when we talked about how the Super Bowl is going, I kept saying, in terms of the known knowns, I'm feeling really good. We're going to get most of it done. In terms of the known unknowns, we're going to prepare from them because we know that they can happen. It's the unknown unknowns that I'm concerned about, but not worried about. I don't know what they are, so I can't worry about them. I know they're going to happen, and we're going to have to react. And this is a tragic example of that.
Michael, Happy New Year. We'll visit next Friday. We'll talk about upcoming Super Bowl and also just talk about how I don't think this, reflects poorly on New Orleans. And how great law enforcement and Trauma One Center Charity Hospital, University Hospital did. Happy New Year, Michael.
They sure did. You too, my friend. Appreciate you. Happy New Year.
That's Miguel Hecht, Michael Hecht, joining us from Greater New Orleans Inc. Corey Johnson with you on a Friday. Don't move, New Orleans. We're coming right back. A lot more coming your way.
Hey, New Orleans, if you've ever wanted to experience life on St. Charles Avenue, now is your chance. The Grand Victorian, the ultimate bed and breakfast in the Garden District on the streetcar line. Built in 1893, this magnificent house will make your special weekend getaway special. To find out more, go to gvbb.com. That's gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian, where the locals go to get away.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, fuller part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Fletcher Mackel joining us. Michael Hecht joining us. Fletcher Mackel joining us. Had a guest on from University Hospital talking about exactly what I led off the program about. A Trauma One medical center, 24/7, 365, fully staffed, 3 a.m. in the morning. They saved lives. They saved a lot of lives. It's an emergency room on steroids, a regular emergency room. It takes a while before someone who comes in on a, stretcher out of an ambulance is on the operating, in the operating room getting operated on. It takes a few minutes at University Hospital because it's Trauma One. It's what they're used to doing, what they're used to dealing with. People thrown from a motorcycle, car crashes, stab wounds, gunshot wounds, trauma, body trauma to human beings, like some sick terrorist driving down a crowded Bourbon Street on New Year's night, early morning, New Year's Eve night, early morning, New Year, 3 a.m., and running over a bunch of defenseless people in a truck, electric truck that can go 0 to 60 like a Corvette, like in 3.5 seconds. Insane. There's nothing wrong with the truck or that it's electric or that it's fast. It's just the weapon of choice this guy used, in my opinion. A truck, big, heavy, do a lot of damage, and electric, accelerate fast. No, I think that's a big plus. Charity, those doctors, those nurses saving lives. The NOPD, the state police, wildlife and fisheries, all the Jefferson Parish Sheriff, all the different folks that were in the quarter, law enforcement, running towards the terror, running towards the death and destruction. Just, that's what you want to see. New Orleans did nothing wrong. And the only thing we did wrong is sort of how we do things in New Orleans. And I've been talking about this kind of crap forever. This is the Edwin Edwards, John Alario, Bill Jefferson, Mark Morial, all of this. People that are in leadership roles, either to line their pockets, have an ego, not to be civic minded and help the citizens, to set up friends and family. They have an agenda. And it all trickles down. And how New Orleans and Louisiana, we don't do things at all. And if we do finally do them, we do them late. We're late to the game. Like if Nashville was hosting a Super Bowl, right now they'd be painting railings and doing some power washing. They'd be done with any kind of construction or replacing bollards that don't work in a highly, an area that can be highly populated with pedestrian type, people on foot, some type of square or center of town or place that attracts people. No, they'd have all this work done. And I said, if there's any Monday quarterback, and it's that we're, there was a Bayou Classic, New Orleans Bowl, a major Sugar Bowl, and we're still, our goal is February 9th, the Super Bowl. Our goal should have been November 1st, should have been the summer, should have been done in the summer, all of this. July 15th, we're done. We're cut the ribbon. We're ready for the Super Bowl. Poydras is already redone. All the murals are done. The wraps of the buildings, we're going to do that 3 weeks out of the Super Bowl, whatever, 2 weeks out. But everything else would be done, including repair and replacement of these bollards. With all of that said, were the bollards mentioned by the feds as an anti-terrorist measure for the French Quarter like almost a decade ago, 7-8 years ago? Yes. Like Times Square, lots of places in America have these. The French Quarter has them and had them, different ones. These sliding ones got clogged up. They worked great at first, got clogged up with Mardi Gras beach trash, bottles, broken glass, all kind of crap, and clogged up the gears, the mechanism, the system that made them move. So even if these bollards were federally funded, 110% in place, they would have been on the street only, blocking the entrance to the French Quarter on Bourbon and Canal, and a block in at Bourbon and Iberville. And in both instances, you could drive around them. On the left at Canal Street, and even on the right if you wanted to take out some balcony poles. And in something like an electric Ford 150, you could probably just take out the poles, damage the hell out of the truck, but continue down the street. Take out the balcony, maybe collapse the balcony with people on it. So the bollard, in my opinion, this is New Orleans. We block a street with those police barricades. We block a street with construction, street closed. People that live on that street or want to get to that street, civilians, no police around, they're going to pull up in their car, move that metal barricade, drive through, maybe put the barricade back, maybe not. The bollards were meant to keep vehicular traffic off of Bourbon Street when it was a pedestrian mall type situation. It wasn't like a federal building protected from terrorist attack. Now, because this happened, not only will both of those sets of bollards, the ones at Canal and Bourbon and Iberville, be replaced and new ones will be put in that will be effective. They will add bollards on the sidewalk, one on either sidewalk, right in the middle of the sidewalk, where pedestrians can easily pass, but a vehicle cannot jump the curb and come down the sidewalk. This Monday quarterbacking about the bollards is just incorrect, wrong. New Orleans did nothing wrong. A little late getting some stuff ready for the Super Bowl. Should have been done months ago. Wouldn't have really changed anything. Truck would have gone around like it did around the SUV on Canal Street. Would have gone around the bollards. 5 o'clock power hour next on a Friday.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply. Ooh la la, that's what I said. Ooh la la, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated, Leidenheimer French bread. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Ford F-150, number one seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter, get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Here you run, 5 o'clock hour parties. We're blowing that 5 o'clock whistle. Toot toot. Work week in the books. Weekend smack dab in front of you. Yeah, you're right. Last couple of weeks, Christmas on Wednesday, New Year on Wednesday. I don't know if this was a full-blown work week for a lot of folks. Thanks for joining us. Corey Johnson with you. 5 o'clock whistle on a Friday, a little bit after 5 p.m. Always brought to you by Katie's, appropriately brought to you by Katie's. As New Orleans as it gets. You know how many folks, out-of-towners, tourists have been piling into Katie's the last few weeks? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of folks coming into New Orleans, wanting to experience real New Orleans, not the touristy spots, the real New Orleans, not Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. They were on the corner of Iberville and Tallahassee in the heart of Mid-City, getting a true taste of New Orleans, big portions, New Orleans specialties, old school. They headed to Katie's, as New Orleans as it gets, in Mid-City, the Mid-City mainstay, Katie's in Mid-City. 5 o'clock whistle on a Friday, brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City, appropriately brought to you by Katie's. Yeah, a post-terror attack Friday edition of the program. This could have happened anywhere. Anywhere there was a crowd, anyone could take their vehicle and plow through the crowd of people. It's impossible to stop this kind of thing. A place like the French Quarter and Bourbon Street, because of the history and the tight streets and the buildings, sort of European-like, it will be easy to harden those corners like Canal Street at Bourbon and Iberville at Bourbon. It'll be easy to harden those corners. If the bollards that everyone's talking about were fully functioning and in place, the Ford F-150 Lightning could have gone around them on the curb. Now we're going to have better bollards, and there's going to be one in the middle of the sidewalk so a vehicle can't jump the curb and go down the left or right sidewalk at both those corners. Watch. They already put in temporary bollards on the sidewalk that you have to walk around. The only thing New Orleans did wrong is something we have done wrong forever that so many accept, that I have been
harping on for years, decades plus on this program. This second-rate, backwards-ass mentality we have. Electing the Bill Jefferson, John Alario, Edwin Edward, Mark Morial types, and defending them because they're Democrat, Republican, or black or white, defending them forever, and they've done nothing. You can't point to anything that they've done, but you want to love them because you're broken, because you're dysfunctional, because black or white or Republican or Democrat means more to you than results, than reality. So a lot of second-rate people that elect second-rate people, and we get second-rate results. What do you expect anything differently? Louisiana has been struggling compared to other states for decades. New Orleans versus other cities for decades. We do stuff half-ass. We don't do what's necessary. When we do it, we do it late, or we do it in a half-ass type of fashion. Just had Michael Hecht on the program. Said, Michael, all this stuff we're doing for the Super Bowl, it's great. Super Bowl, thank God for it. Lights a flame under our rear end, a sense of urgency, a deadline. Let's get these things done. This punch list, 300, 400, 500 items, including like repaving Poydras, fixing sidewalks and streets in the quarter. I'm all for it. I'm on the committee. Michael Hecht put me on the committee to help a few dozen other folks on the committee come up with the things we need to fix. Not until this terrorist attack did I really think about it and go, man, this should have been done 6 months ago. This whole punch list should have been done a year ago and then completed like last summer, like in July. July 1st, we're done. We're done with the punch list. Instead, we get the punch list started in July instead of like in January, and we're finishing it up right now. Like Michael Hecht said, paving streets, fixing sidewalks in the quarter right now for the February 9th Super Bowl. Problem is we had a Sugar Bowl yesterday, a New Orleans Bowl, a Bayou Classic. It's just crazy. Should have had this done 6 months ago. So that would be the only criticism I would have. The working bollards would have been in place. And guess what? That lunatic in the truck, Jabbar, in the electric F-150 would have gone around those bollards, just like he went around the police SUV at Canal Street and Bourbon. And then the bollards in the ground on the following block, it would have slowed him down and he would have had to go around those on the sidewalk. Maybe take out a balcony post or two and collapse a balcony with people on it. And then he's beelining down the second block of Bourbon Street. He could have gone down the side streets that go through Bourbon. And a lot of those don't have any bollards on either side. And you can just turn right onto the street and run over people. He could have gone down Poydras when the Sugar Bowl was going to start. And there were hundreds of people going to the Sugar Bowl. I mean, we could go on and on and on. But my point about the bollards specifically, is New Orleans dysfunctional? Yeah. Should all of this stuff been done for the Super Bowl in the summer so all these other events get to benefit from it too, including Taylor Swift? You bet. Should a lot of construction be going on right now? No, it should be over with. But even if it was all done, those bollards in place, the vehicle could have gone around them. So this Monday quarterbacking about the bollards, dysfunctional city, trying to blame someone, could have gone down regardless. And the catch-22 of New Orleans incompetence, that vehicle ran into like a cherry picker, like a lift truck doing construction, doing work in the French Quarter on Bourbon Street. Could have kept going down for a few more blocks. Went 2.5 blocks in already. Now, here's the best part. You want a silver lining? There'll be major bollard reinforcement at both those points and probably every street through the French Quarter on Bourbon. And there'll be a bollard in the middle of the sidewalk in between the building and the curb. So a vehicle could not get up on the sidewalk, walk, and go around the bollards. And they will be more like terrorist proof, like you'd see at a federal building or a Times Square. Can't drive a vehicle through there. Now, a lot of folks wanting to Monday quarterback. I'll Monday quarterback. NOPD, state police, fantastic job. Wildlife and fisheries, all the law enforcement, FBI, all the law enforcement that was in and around the French Quarter, running towards the terror, running towards the problem, running towards the death and destruction. Seen the videos. Law enforcement everywhere doing a fantastic job. Charity Hospital, Trauma One Hospital, Trauma One Medical Center, saving lives. Thank God for Charity Hospital. Regular hospital emergency room can't do what Charity can do. No, these are heroes. Law enforcement, University Medical Center, bunch of heroes. No, New Orleans did nothing wrong. New Orleans did nothing wrong. This could have taken place anywhere. As a matter of fact, I mean, outside of the dog sniffing, couldn't find a bomb sniffing dog comment, I thought Jeff Landry did a damn good job showing a lot of leadership, answering questions properly, confidently, leading. Need that during a time like this when what's hitting the fan. Hey, it's a Friday. Want to decompress for the weekend? You beelining across to the North Shore. Fire in a to-go order at Trey Yen right now. Curbside delivery. They walk it right out to your car. Better yet, dine in at the foot of the causeway, you North Shore and South Shore folks. 25 minutes from Lakeside Mall. Don't forget their award-winning signature Tong Cho sauce. Chinese cuisine, Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway, across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Some folks were like talking about New Orleans resilient and and almost being cynical and jaded about it, negative about it. Katrina 20 years ago this summer, the BP oil disaster 15 years ago, now this New Year terror attack. We've experienced everything from Mother Nature with Katrina, coupled with man-made disaster with the Army Corps and the faulty levees and flood walls. BP, another, disaster. Mother Nature, oil, and instead of regulating it and handling it right, inmates running the asylum, major disaster in the Gulf. And now this terror attack. No, New Orleans is resilient, and we will bounce back, and we will move on, and we'll be better than we were before. We'll be better than we were before. We have a hardened levee system now, so we're better than we were in 2005. We follow and have regulations that let the oil and gas industry thrive. We're producing more oil than we ever have in the history of this country. We produce more oil than any country in the world. Any country in the world. Louisiana is one of the major leaders in that. And we do it safely. We regulate it properly. We don't let the inmates run the asylum and it's thriving. And now we'll have a hardened French Quarter when it comes to a terrorist type attack that we just experienced. But I don't think New Orleans screwed up or made mistakes. Folks are like, this 2017 plan, I think it was Nice, France, a big crowd. They put in bollards and stopped a future terrorist attack. Same kind of thing, a vehicle running over people at like some mall in France, outdoor mall type thing, pedestrian mall. And it was all Western countries, including the United States, embraced this Times Square, lots of places. New Orleans got millions of dollars to install these bollards in vulnerable places like the French Quarter. But there was no plan where a bollard was on the sidewalk ever. And that would be a hardened, terrorist-proof type thing. I don't know if New Orleans, you want to argue they dropped the ball? Then where are the feds watching the money that's given to New Orleans to make it hardened? Why weren't there bollards ever on the sidewalk? I continue to say that part is almost secondary. And I'm not saying it's not important. It's the most important thing. But the main reason the bollards were on Bourbon Street were to stop you and me, vehicular traffic from traversing Bourbon when they wanted to make it a pedestrian mall, much more so than making it terrorist proof. If making it terrorist proof was the primary goal, and the secondary thing was, wow, the gravy is most of the time there won't be terrorists, we get to utilize it to keep vehicular traffic off of Bourbon and make it a pedestrian mall, there would have been bollards on the sidewalks. There would have been bollards on the sidewalk. So even when, or if the bollards were working, the truck could have gone around them, both at Canal and Bourbon and Iberville and Bourbon. Now, I mean, right now already they've got temporary bollards on the sidewalk. These huge metal triangular things that are bollards that can be placed anywhere, block a street, block anything. I don't think they're made for sidewalks. We're utilizing them for sidewalks right now till the bollards are redone and new ones are placed on the sidewalk so the truck can't go around them. This Monday quarterbacking of the city's broken, didn't have the bollards working. That was the problem. There was an NOPD SUV sideways where the bollard was, the one that wasn't working, the one with the big flap that was in the down position, because Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick said they get stuck sometimes, and if we need to get an ambulance in, we wouldn't be able to do it. So we lowered it, and we had an SUV blocking it. Truck went around the SUV, would have gone around the bollard. I don't know what people are missing. And then balcony poles. An electric Ford F-150 with all that torque and power and ridiculous acceleration, like 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. Take out those balcony poles like that. Damage the truck, break the windshield, maybe stops the truck, maybe not, and then collapses a balcony full of people. Now, a lot of folks want to point fingers, play Monday quarterback. The city did nothing wrong. What if this was a parade route? Okay. Let's say it's middle of Mardi Gras, daytime parade. This idiot's in his electric Ford F-150 going down St. Charles Avenue away from uptown towards Napoleon. And you got the turn at Napoleon where there's those metal NOPD barricades. F-150 would plow through them and could run over hundreds of people down St. Charles Avenue on the neutral ground, down the sidewalk. This can happen anywhere, anytime, wherever any crowd is. It could be going to a concert at the Sanger, and there's a line of a few hundred outside, jumps the sidewalk, runs folks over. Impossible to protect everyone everywhere. But places like the perimeter of the Superdome, major, egress, ingress of the French Quarter, like Canal at Bourbon or Iberville at Bourbon. All the side streets that are open where you can go through Bourbon 24/7. You have to have bollards on the left, bollards on the right, where the vehicle couldn't turn onto Bourbon Street like they can right now. This guy could have entered Bourbon going the wrong way from Esplanade, where it's one way going towards Esplanade. Could have turned up Bourbon that way. I'm not trying to cut the city any slack. I'm playing Monday quarterback now. This Super Bowl thing, repairing the streets, fixing the French Quarter, all the power wash, should have finished this in the summer. Jeff Landry, thank God, the governor appointed Michael Hecht as a point man to get the city ready for the Super Bowl. Just going over Mayor LaToya Cantrell's head. Got to get this done. She ain't going to do it. If she does, she'll anoint some political hack that'll line their pockets, be some city contract. Said Michael Hecht, Greater New Orleans Inc., getting it done. I'm on the board with a few dozen other folks finding the spots that need to be cleaned up. Jeff Landry, thank God he got this started in the summer, about 6 months out. Should have been John Bell Edwards like last summer, before Christmas. Hey, we can't be fixing sidewalks in the French Quarter in December and January, a month outside the Super Bowl, like we're doing right now. We need to be doing this the summer before the Saints season and the Pelican season and Bayou Classic and New Orleans Bowl and the Sugar Bowl and then the Super Bowl. Have it all ready. No, a city like, I guarantee you, whatever city is hosting the Super Bowl next year, they're doing the stuff right now in preparation for it. And they're probably not as old and antiquated city that has infrastructure problems. They're probably newer and more modern. It'll be an easier thing to do. And they're probably doing it right now, not waiting to the last minute. But thank God for Jeff Landry, or there wouldn't have been a punch list in trying to get all this done. Thank God for Jeff Landry and this punch list, because the bollards wouldn't be getting repaired in time for the Super Bowl. So, no, the city is late to the game. They are dysfunctional. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. joined me last hour. He was specifically tapped to get this done, and it was late. Should have been done months earlier. But even if it was, those bollards in place working, the truck could have gone around. And that truck, the terrorists got that truck specifically, in my opinion, 2, if not 3 reasons. 1, it's a truck. 2, it's electric. It goes 0 to 60 in like 3.5 seconds, like a high-end exotic sports car. And 3, with the batteries, I'm assuming, even without the motor and the transmission, the batteries weigh more than the standard Ford F-150 motor and transmission. So it's a heavier vehicle. That would be my guess on the third thing, which the first 2, the electric part in a truck, the quick acceleration was key. How much more does a Ford F-150 Lightning weigh than a standard F-150? F-150 Lightning curb weight is 6,500 pounds. A regular F-150's curb weight ranges anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. It's like a ton heavier. It's like a ton heavier. So a truck, instead of a car, it's got a big flat front, big beast of a vehicle. It's electric, so it's fast. It can accelerate to 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. And it weighs a ton more than a regular F-150. No, that's why that idiot got that vehicle, in my opinion. And a truck, go over curbs, go around crap, be able to muscle through. Now, you want a Monday quarterback? Be proud of the law enforcement, NOPD, and the like in Metro New Orleans. You want a Monday quarterback? Be proud of our Trauma One Medical Center, University Hospital, a.k.a. Charity. Be proud of New Orleans. We did nothing wrong. New Orleans did nothing wrong. The opposite. We did great.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com. Your cool spot.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King. Hey, New Orleans, if you've ever wanted to experience life on St. Charles Avenue, now is your chance. The Grand Victorian, the ultimate bed and breakfast in the Garden District on the streetcar line. Built in 1893, this magnificent house will make your special weekend getaway special. To find out more, go to gvbb.com. That's gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian, where the locals go to get away.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to be purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Yeah, you right. Resilient New Orleans, Katrina, BP oil disaster, New Year terrorist attack. We're going to keep rolling. We did nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong. Could New Orleans have been a little ahead of the curve as far as getting the city ready for the Super Bowl and having all this stuff done months ago, even before Taylor Swift? Yeah, that should have been done. It should have been a month before Taylor Swift comes. Everything's done for the Saints season, for Pelicans, for Bayou Classic, New Orleans Bowl, Sugar Bowl, all done. And in typical New Orleans fashion, late to the game. We may have been really late. Thank God Jeff Landry, like him or not, the governor of the state back in the summer, tapped Michael Hecht to run this commission, this Super Bowl prep group, and come up with a punch list of 400 or 500 items to get done for the Super Bowl. Thank God. A deadline, a goal, a sense of urgency, a fire under New Orleans' rear end for a change. Otherwise, it's mañana, it's next year, it's later. Don't worry about it. But we should have had it done 90 days, 120 days before the Super Bowl. Any other city, it would have been done months. Whoever's having the Super Bowl next year, they're prepping right now for it. So you can be critical of that. And then that would get back to these bollards. But they would be in place, but there wouldn't have been bollards on the sidewalk. So the truck could have gone around them at both corners. Might have had to slow down to go around the second one at Iberville, but could have done it. And then accelerated again at a very fast pace. An F-150 electric truck that does 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds and weighs a ton more than a regular F-150, 2,000 pounds heavier. So it's a Ram. 2017, I've heard 30 million, I've heard 40 million, federal money, secure parts of New Orleans that are vulnerable to terrorist attacks like the Quarter, with bollards and the like. Some are saying the city dropped the ball on that, did get it done. They installed them. They worked fine. Then some that slid back and forth, got clogged up with crap, and wasn't a good spot for them on Bourbon Street. Mardi Gras beads, broken glass, plastic, all kind of crap going in the cracks. So they had to rip those up and rebuild them, and that's what they're doing right now. But there was no bollards on the sidewalk. Now there will be. We learned a lesson. So folks that are like, the city not having the bollards in place, repairing them right now, should have been repaired before the Super Bowl. Those are all good points, but not really applicable in this situation. Where the bollards were down at Canal and Bourbon, there was a huge NOPD SUV parked, taking up at least as much space as the bollards would have. The F-150 went around the SUV like it would have gone around the bollards. Anyway, this could have happened somewhere else where this person could have, before the Sugar Bowl game on Poydras Street, enter Bourbon Street the wrong way from Esplanade, enter Bourbon Street from one of the side streets where there are no bollards. Michael Hecht said it best. When some terrorist type that doesn't mind losing their own life wants to kill a lot of people, it's hard to stop that. We will harden those areas. We will harden those areas. So they will be terrorist proof now. That Canal Bourbon entrance to the Quarter. Corey Johnson with you on a Friday. Now, so many people playing Monday quarterback and criticizing the city because it's easy to do. But in this case, in my opinion, I don't think the city really did anything wrong. It's a terrorist. He's hell-bent on dying. He's hell-bent on killing as many people as he can. He came to New Orleans for a reason. Because Houston doesn't have some huge New Year's celebration where there are a lot of people. Rented the Ford truck in Houston. Drove to New Orleans. Rented an Airbnb. Made bombs. Was here for a few days. Because it's 5 hours away. He lives in Houston. New Orleans is like the nearest place to him where there's going to be huge crowds for New Year's. I mean, what other cities celebrate it? Times Square in New York? Can you name other places? I mean, I'm sure they've got other places. Well, doesn't Bay St. Louis have the oyster drop, some oyster shell drop or something? I'm sure a lot of communities have little New Year's celebrations with a few dozen, maybe a few hundred people. This is New Orleans. We're a tourist convention city, crowds of people all over the streets all the time. We're a New Year holiday destination. So this guy knew. This guy knew what to do. No, now the Monday quarterbacking will have terrorist-proof bollards in some key spots in the Quarter from now on, especially on Bourbon Street. That are movable. Maybe the ones, it's like a 8-foot metal pole, 4 feet of it sticks in the ground, 4 feet of it sticks out of the ground. It's not bending or breaking. It's stopping a vehicle of just about any sort. No, what I'm most proud of is New Orleans. The video of law enforcement running towards the terror, towards the death and destruction. Great job by NOPD and state police and wildlife and fisheries and all kind of different law enforcement agencies from New Orleans, from the metro area, Jefferson Parish Sheriff, state law enforcement of all sorts. Great job. Charity Hospital, Trauma One Medical Center. Great job. Literally saving lives. Not every community has a Trauma One Medical Center. Charity is a training ground. A regular hospital, better than no hospital, but are they ready to do the things as quickly? Are they ready to deal with trauma? Do they have the staff in place at any time, much less 3:30 in the morning? So no, just law enforcement, university hospital. I'm a proud New Orleanian from what I saw back on Wednesday morning. And no, I don't think the city really did anything wrong. If things would have been perfect, I don't think it would have stopped this idiot. And ironically, there was construction equipment on Bourbon because we are a little inefficient and late to the game and paving streets and doing things of that nature this late, fixing sidewalks this late. Super Bowl's 4 weeks away. No, that truck ran into that stuff. He maybe would have kept going, ran into like one of those cherry pickers, one of those big, like 4 wheels. It's about the size of a truck, and it just has like a huge platform that you can go repair lights, overhead wires, that type of stuff. Probably like 10 people could get on that thing. It's big, it's heavy. The truck slammed into it, and it stopped, and that was when it was over with. And then police went towards this guy, had a shootout with this guy. You can see like 4 or 5 gunshots in the rear glass of the truck, and then shot and killed him on the street. And he's wearing body armor. So they had to hit him, waist down, above the neck. And they did. And a couple of cops got shot. 14 dead, 40 injured. Corey Johnson with you on a Friday. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Home of Lamarck Ford, over 45 years in Kenner. #1 Ford dealership in the region. Lamarck Lincoln, also part of the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. #1 Lincoln dealership in the state. Looking for a commercial van, truck, SUV? Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner and Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood, Harahan. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed a lot. Fletcher Mackel joined us. He's done a great job the last 36, 48 hours covering this. Just shifting gears from sports to hard news and getting it done. Great reporting. Michael Hecht joined us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. No, not the city's fault. Not going to miss a beat. We're resilient. Katrina, BP, this. It's New Orleans. 300 plus years old. European masterpiece. We keep going no matter what. Recession, depression, booming economic times. We keep grinding. We keep going. We keep moving forward. We may not be like the rest of America. We're not like the rest of America. We're New Orleans. But we keep going. And this isn't going to stop us, not in the least bit.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian. Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades. On Jefferson Highway, across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeVar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
You know, when New Orleans embarrasses itself and screws up and has a violent crime rate or something that we're to blame for, you know, mass shooting in the quarter, it's all local. It's not good. It makes national news. It doesn't shine a good spotlight on the city. It's a bad thing. A lot of these folks that are saying the city should have the bollards in place, this type of stuff, also saying like this shines a bad spotlight on New Orleans. And I think it's the opposite. I think Americans look at this as a terrorist attack in America. If I heard that somebody drove up at the plaza in San Antonio and ran over a bunch of people, or went down Beale Street in Memphis and ran over a bunch of people, or Times Square in New York, wherever, South Beach in Miami, wherever, Buckhead in Atlanta, I wouldn't be like, I'm not going to those places, or those places made a mistake. Those places didn't have safety measures in place. Those places are dangerous. Those places are incompetent. I'd be like the opposite. I'd be like a terrorist attack on America. I don't think any reasonable person anywhere in America, anywhere in the world, is looking at New Orleans in a bad way because of this. The opposite. They're like, that's a city that celebrates. That's a city that likes to party. It's New Year's Eve and New Year's night, New Year's Day. New Orleans does it like very few places in the world. I mean, if you named a dozen places to go for New Year's, New Orleans might be on that list worldwide. It's a destination for New Year's. I mean, in America, where else is there? New York? I mean, there's nowhere else. So I don't think it shines a bad light on New Orleans in the least bit. Could have happened anywhere. I think most folks realize that. The clear vast majority, 99%. And if anything, they selfishly are like, thank God it didn't happen where I live. And I think we can all relate to that. But I just want to stress that, in my opinion, and I am hypercritical of dysfunctional New Orleans and Louisiana all the time, week in, week out on this program. Maybe not every day, but I think I'm honest about it and true about it. And I don't try to, it's like covering, something in news or sports or whatever. You don't go in there with an axe to grind and you're out to get people. And you don't go in there kissing rear ends, trying to make friends. You do your job. And that's what I try to do every day. Fair and objective, follow the facts, don't care about black, white, Republican, Democrat. My agenda is fairness and being objective and looking out for you. I don't befriend the politicians. I avoid the big shots. So when I'm sitting here saying New Orleans did nothing wrong, do you think I'm just trying to be easy on New Orleans and I'm like a homer? Me? The guy that's constantly second-rate people in New Orleans and Louisiana, bad politicians like Alario and Bill Jefferson and Mark Morial and Edwin Edwards. Heitmeyer brothers. I mean, just go on and on and on. It's nauseating. Broussard, it's endless. It's endless. Horrible politics. Not a good business environment. The Texas, the South, Texas, fastest growing state for 40, 50 years in the country. The South, the fastest growing region last 40, 50 years in the country. We're literally surrounded by it and we missed it. Didn't miss the boat, missed the rocket ship. So no, I'm very critical of New Orleans, very critical of Louisiana, because we are blessed. We're not a poor state or a poor city. We're a rich state and a rich city run poorly. So I'm very critical, and I'm not scared to be critical, even when some folks would say it's not the best time. Try to be positive, but I just go where the facts lead me because I love and care about New Orleans. If I didn't, I wouldn't be passionate about it. And, and in this case, I don't think New Orleans did anything wrong. This is a hell-bent, deranged terrorist that's goal was to kill as many people as possible. And that's why I think he rented that electric truck. I told you 3 reasons. It's a truck. It's electric means that Ford Lightning does 0 to 60 in like 3.5 seconds, like a Corvette, like a Ferrari, like a Porsche. Literally. Google it. It's crazy. And I don't think it's a problem. It's just, it's a truck. It's electric, so it's fast as hell, and it's electric, so it weighs a ton more, 2,000 pounds more than a regular F-150. Just like a big, heavy, fast, torquey, high horsepower ramming device. Instead of bashing the city or Monday quarterbacking about the bollards and all this nonsense, keep the 14 folks that died in your thoughts and prayers, and their friends and family that are suffering right now for this senseless act of terrorism, and the nearly 40 that are injured, some in critical condition. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Stay focused. Keep your eye on the ball. Not this nonsense, these emotional, feels good, but there's not a lot of facts and logic behind it type of opinions and comments. Fantasy Friday 2025 is here. What's that, Blue Boy? Slow down, buddy. Hard to understand what you're saying. Slow down. What? 2025 is a new year, new day, lots of great opportunity. Let's take it on in a positive way. Love it, Blue Boy. Everyone have a great weekend. See you Monday, straight up 4 o'clock, right here.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.